Greetings to our lecturers and especially to Sir Saiful. We from PID 101 1G2 Group 1 will presenting about how Ministry of Education manage issues of teaching mathematics and science in English. First of all, I will be presenting about introduction to PPSMI. The PPSMI, which is Teaching Mathematics and Science in English, is a policy. This policy is introduced by Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and aimed to reach mathematics and science in English. The policy was implemented in stages starting in 2003 for Year 1 students in primary school and Form 1 and lower 6 students in secondary school. PPSMI was fully applied in 2007 for secondary schools and in 2008 for primary schools. Next, my member will continue the presentation.
As we can know, planning is quite important in our daily life. Without planning, we are having a hard time achieving our goals. Therefore, we should make a planning to set our goals because it will help us to achieve the goals successfully. Besides of that, setting objective is also a process of planning. We need an objective to know what should we do in the planning so it won't mess up our conclusion. For an example, we want to get Dean list in the first semester, so we have to study hard for this, and the objective in this plan is getting Dean list in the first semester. Other than that, we should determine means before we do something. That's why we need planning because we can know what plan is suitable for ourselves, as everyone have their own way to complete the things. We are different and we cannot same with other people. In this topic of how Ministry of Education manage issue of teaching maths and science in English, we can see that they have a planning first before they make this conclusion. They determine the advantages and disadvantages of doing this decision. As we can see, Ministry of Education at first determined out that the advantages is more than disadvantages. So they decide to confirm this plan, but after use it, they realize there are many complaints that they receive. In addition, planning can actually help us to reduce our stress because we have already planned all the schedule and just follow it. If we do things last minute without any plan, of course it will be wasting time and cannot have fun. Instead, we will become more stressed because we did not enjoy anything. For an example, if we go to travel, we of course need to make a plan because without a plan, we cannot sightseeing more attraction. And we'll become regret about this after we back to our self hometown. But if we refer to the planning of PPSMI, it's actually helped to improve our English skills because students will need to understand the English sentence first to do the maths and science questions. Therefore, they will put more effort on learning English. For the conclusion, planning is the important things in our life. It is important to everyone, so we should learn how to plan to make all things become more easier to complete.
Hello and good morning everyone. Today I'll be going to talk about on how the Ministry of Education manages the issue of teaching science and mathematics in English through organizing. Organizing is a process of arranging and structuring various of elements of an organization to achieve a goal effectively and efficiently. The the Ministry of Education organized the process of implementation policy of PPSMI in order to see the various of elements that need to be taken to achieve this goal. One of one of the few key aspects is organizing the teachers training. This is to ensure the teachers possess enough skill and knowledge to teach mathematics and science in English. This is also help them to know more about all the necessary steps to make the students much more interested in learning the subject of science and mathematics in English. Another one is to help them to know much more clear goals to and understand all the action they need to take in implementing this policy to the students and themselves. Another key aspect is organizing enough resource allocation. This is to ensure all the needs to implement this policy is enough so the process would go much more smoothly. One of one of the example of the resource are such as money, textbooks, educational video, fun learning module, and so on. Note that the the process of organizing is one of the most vital role in implementing the PPSLI. So it means that to manage this issue of teaching science and mathematics in English, the Ministry of Organization, the Ministry of Education need to organize such various more key aspect to help them implement this policy to solve the problem of teaching science and mathematics in English. Thank you very much.
Is decision making. A decision can be defined as a course of action chosen from a set of alternatives to achieve organizational or managerial objectives or goals. Ministry of Education employs a systematic decision-making process to address the challenges associated with teaching mathematics and science in English. They begin by identifying the problems through analyzing student performance and gathering feedbacks from teachers. Thorough research and analysis are conducted to understand the root cause of the issues. Factors such as the threat to national language and the lack of English proficiency among teachers and students are taken into account. With the clear understanding of the problem, the ministry sets specific goals and objectives. They generate a range of possible solutions and alternatives, considering best practices from other countries and consulting with experts and stakeholders. These alternatives may include co-curriculum modifications, teacher training programs, resource allocation, or policy changes. Once the alternatives are selected, the ministry develops an implementation plan, allocating resources, creating timelines, and assigning responsibilities. The plan is communicated to relevant stakeholders and vigilant surveillance is conducted throughout the execution stage. This helps in evaluating progress, identifying obstacles, and making necessary modification. After the implementation, the ministry evaluates the outcomes and reviews the effectiveness of the decision-making process. They analyze the impact of the strategies on student performance, teacher satisfaction, and overall learning outcomes. This evaluation serves as a feedback loop for future decision-making process and enables continuous improvement. In conclusion, the Ministry of Education follows a step-by-step decision-making process to address the challenges in teaching mathematics and science in English. Through problem analysis, goal setting, generating alternatives,
implementing planning, ongoing surveillance and evaluation. They strive to make informed decisions that lead to improved student performance and overall learning outcomes.
Next is controlling, which will be presented by Brian bin Majin, student ID 2023148231. However, Brian is no longer a student of UITM, so I will be presenting about controlling. My name is Erika Fraziana binti Josmin, student ID 2023130839. Controlling is a continuous act or process that includes various control and monitoring of an activities in order to perform certain effective tasks. The importance of controlling is it is the act of the organization toward goals, in achieving goals. Um, Controlling also increase employees' motivation. There are strategies or policies that was implemented through controlling, which is the PPSMI on 2002 or on 2003, which is Pengajaran dan Pembelajaran Sains dan Malaysia Mathematics. The stage of implementation was done in 2003, which is in primary school is year 1, secondary school is through from 1 and lower 6, and so on. However, in 2009, it is not effective for PPSMI to be conducted or implemented since it is not effective because they use top-down approach. So this policies was discontinued in 2012. Conclusion is I do conclusion through SWOT analysis, and first and foremost is the strength, where student skills are on par with global students because they have gained more experience, they are more standardized, they have a future career, a better prospect of future career. Second is weakness. Sudden changes in education is not applied to all, especially the changes of language. Even teachers have difficulty teaching difficult subjects such as science and mathematics in English. There is a lot of opportunity for this topic, which is to expose the student to international standard and so that education status can be on par with global education. Other than that, the threat of this topic is that our mother tongue will be slowly forgotten, which is Bahasa Malaysia. In addition to the wide use of internet nowadays, English is starting to become a norm in socializing, especially when the younger generation love to play TikTok, love to surf the net. Basically, all of these platforms are in English. Rarely does they use the Bahasa Melayu. Thank you for listening to our presentation.